Live. We are live. Let's see what happens.
There is
here.
nothing else going on tonight, so you've got a few minutes to grab your drink, grab your friend, but don't grab your friend's drink unless you're bringing it to them.
That's right. That's right. We are figuring it out. Let's see who all we got here. Let us know where you are viewing from tonight and who you are. Let us know what's going on. We're going to go share this real quick. Mm-hmm. And if you have a feeling that you would like to share this as well.
Maybe your friends that follow you on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you are joining us from tonight, maybe your friends need a little break from the stress of the college football playoff rankings.
I know. Clemson came in 23rd.
That's the only stressful thing happening tonight.
And we went from being like top 10 to losing to Louisville.
Rough life.
We just didn't wake up. I don't know what happened on Saturday, but all of a sudden...
John's been in grief since then.
It's been rough.
This is tasty.
All right. I shared it.
Tonight, in honor of the great state of Texas.
Well, in honor of community. We are drinking
the Mosaic IPA by Community Brewing, or Community Beer, out of... I
think it's out of Texas.
Somewhere in Texas.
There's the Texas logo.
Yeah, I know it's out of Texas. I'm just trying to... Dallas. Brought to us by Judy Calvert from Dallas, friend of Bill and Bobby Harding. And sorry, I was reading Joan Bosman's note at the same time. And so anyway, we're appreciative, always appreciative of you joining us online tonight on Tuesday nights, but we're especially appreciative of folks who send us beer to consume online.
That's right. That's kind of fun. Your mom made a good joke about the realtor signs, and then Deanna Choplin chimed in and said, "Hi, I got to see your good friend Bill, John, this past weekend. He shares a birthday with my dad." Deanna, that absolutely made my day on, I think it was Sunday.
It was Sunday, because you ran over to me, and I was like, help me with context here.
Yeah, I was like, look, there's Bill, and there's Pepper, and there's Deanna.
Yeah, I knew Deanna, awesome. And then I was like, who are these other people?
Yeah. And Deanna, that's so fun. You realize that Bill is the one who mastered like the Pentatonics Christmas album. he's a pretty big deal. He's got multiple Grammys, and then anyway, that's awesome. He's what a good person. So I'm glad that they share a birthday.
Good people should know good people.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
That's good stuff. And so Joan is out of the hospital, thank goodness. And it was good to see you chime in on here. And yeah, hello to the network, to everybody out there. This is Talking Toast.
This is Talking Toast. We start every week at 8:28. And we use this as a time to pull back the creative process on the sermon writing process.
To pull back the curtain.
Yeah, that's it. Pull back the curtain on the creative process. Sorry. Can you tell that I'm a little bit tired? How about that? My mom's choir in Georgia sang one of Pepper's anthems on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Wild. Small world. We do this as a way to kind of kickstart the sermon writing process to help you be a part of that for us. But we also do it to have a chance to talk about spirituality, to talk about how we make sense of the world, as if there's a lot going on in the world to make sense
Yeah.
of. But we actually kind of polled. We did a rough non-scientific straw poll last week to see if people were interested in having a Talking Toast this week anyway, given all the goings on. And it was kind of an overwhelming yes.
Yeah.
So here we are. It is November. It is election day. It is all kinds of things. Joanne Spence says hi.
Hello in Pittsburgh to
Coming
Joanne.
in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All eyes on you tonight.
And Joan coming in from west of Catonsville.
West of us.
The violin was beautiful on Sunday. Absolutely. That was great.
Yeah, so we start every Sunday. We start every Tuesday, whatever day today is, by asking the simple question that may not be so simple sometimes, but what is saving your life today? What is sustaining you?
Yeah, what is sustaining you? That's been our question for ages now. Ages ago, we came up with that question. We have this really wonderful friend, family friends in Manchester, and their youngest daughter was on FaceTime call with our daughter, and all of a sudden she has this British accent, like just like that, so quick.
It's amazing.
And our daughter said, "Hey, did you go to the beach recently?" And she goes, "That was ages ago." And all of a sudden, that's in our minds every time. Yep. So yeah, what's sustaining you?
Yeah, we want to know what's sustaining you. So maybe you should kick us off tonight. What's sustaining you?
I had the opportunity tonight to go to my good friend, my spouse, my co-pastor, my confidant, my best friend. I got to go to your work today.
I know, it was like take your family to work today.
It was fun. And I got to see downtown at the oldest Y building in the United States, in Baltimore. I got to go and participate in volunteering at the food pantry there. It was wonderful, and we took our daughter with us, and the three of us got to meet great people. And we ended up handing out. We had to keep the measurements on the weight because that's how the grants are written for it.
Grants.
Yep. But we ended up handing out 1,599 pounds.
No, the last count was 1,614.
Oh,
there was one person who came in after.
Yeah, with the 15.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even after that 15.
Yep.
Oh, well. Anyway, so we had a lot of food, which turned out to be over 1,000 meals.
Yeah.
Whenever you look at it by weight. So that was it was really life-giving. It was a lot of fun. It was just a Tuesday.
It was fun.
It
was so fun for me to introduce you to all of my colleagues too. Like I just kind of by happenstance, you got to meet my boss.
Yeah.
You got to meet all the people that I work with and interface with daily. Anyway, and Sophie had a good time and charmed the heck out of everybody. Anyway, it was just great.
It was really life-giving.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Your dad said, "I'm sustained by good conversations today with friends in Virginia and Arkansas." That's great.
Maybe elections are excuses to keep in contact with long distance friends. There you go. I like
good
that.
Stuff.
I like
What's
that.
sustaining you?
Well, it was really fun to see y'all at the Y and like give you a glimpse into what I do. That was awesome. But I would also say something that has been really exciting. I registered for a marathon today, my first. So I am going to, in 26 weeks, run 26.2 miles. And it's just going to be a thing. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about it a lot.
That feels really manageable. You just got to up, like if you were to start doing 1 mile this week, you could go add a mile a week.
If it worked like that, that would be great. But anyway, I'm really excited about it. I was ready for an athletic challenge, and this is just one of those challenges that I've wondered about for a long time, and it feels like the right time to do this now that I'm kind of on the other side of my ankle surgery, and want to do that before my knees give out.
Yeah, let's give them a chance to
just speed that process along a little bit. But I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun challenge, and I love like putting something, call it a carrot, call it whatever you want. I love putting something out there and like training for it or preparing for it in some way. So I'm excited about that.
I think I need to do that half marathon. I think I need something like that out there
to work towards.
Yeah. I think I need to cut my hair off and just go ahead and new year, new me.
This is the first you've mentioned of that on Talking Twist.
I mean, I've been thinking about it. I'm tired of hair. It's been tired of me for a while. So I should probably just be tired of it. It's 22 miles to our house. You could run to Joan's house. That's great. I could just run halfway there. You can pick me up in the car. Oh man, this is good stuff. Well, tonight we have this question that we thought about, and that is, tonight there's a lot of anxiety in the air. We get it, and we may share in some of that. The question is, what are you looking forward to? Like tomorrow, in general, what are you looking forward to? What's that thing that kind of works that well with your marathon thing?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
We need some things. You can talk to Jimmy about the hairdo. I will talk to Jimmy about that. That's a great idea. What are some things that you are looking forward to?
And here's the reason we ask this.
Yeah.
This has been one of those times, one of those elections. We're actually talking to our kiddo about this tonight, that it can be hard to have your heart set on something and it not happen, regardless of what side you're on.
Right.
It can be hard to come to terms with something that you've got your heart set on and that not coming to fruition. And so a lot of people have been talking about despair and anxiety and, worst case scenario type conversations in the last little while. So what we're interested in, and I think is kind of an antidote for despair, is anticipation. What is it that you are anticipating? What is it that you are looking forward to? And that can be anything. It can be tomorrow. It can be over the weekend. It can be whatever. So we want to know what you're looking forward to. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I think this is a good question to follow with, like, what is sustaining you. We talked about, like, the things that are kind of present or maybe even past that are sustaining us. But there's got to be something looking forward to as well.
Yeah.
Sonia Scott, I think you already hit on mine.
The
holidays.
Yeah.
We got in the car a few days ago, and our child...
It was November 1st.
It was November 1st, and our child said, "I'm ready for Christmas music." And I said, "I'm ready for Christmas music." And all of a sudden, we were listening to Christmas music, and it was the most calming, most wonderful experience. And I realized that we're skipping over Thanksgiving, but you know what? We play the Thanksgiving song. Ben Rector has a great Thanksgiving song. That's the one I can think of. So it's not like we're cheating on Thanksgiving.
So, what's funny about that is we have given her, she has some time in her room by herself prior to bedtime. And that night, it was, we heard her talk to her little speaker in her room and say, "Hey, will you please play some Christmas music?"
Yeah.
Some soft Christmas music. And it was like the most magical thing ever. Calming Christmas music. She corrected me. So anyway, it was the most calming and sweet thing. We like walked in there and she was laying on the floor reading a book to Christmas music. So that was a really beautiful moment.
It sure was.
I know Sarah Hollick said something about singing and prepping for Christmas with the choir at her church. Alice's Restaurant is a Thanksgiving song. I think John just posted the Ben Rector Thanksgiving song.
The one I was referring to earlier.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting there. Anybody else? Again, anticipation might just be the antidote for despair.
There we go.
That we need in moments that feel heavy. So
Mom said she's looking forward to the dog's Savvy's final oncology appointment tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's great.
You gotta get that Scarface.
Do the dogs have a bell that they ring with their paw?
God, that's terrible.
Why is that terrible? I think that'd be really beautiful if they had the paw. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Ring it with their tail.
Yeah, ring it with the tail. That would be great. Ding, 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 ding.
Bill said, looking forward to the new year, waiting for a new book to show up at the library so you can borrow it that you've had on hold since July. Nice. That's discipline, Bill, because what I would do is just say, no, I'm ready to read that book, even though I've got 16 books in my to-be-read pile, and I would just go out and get it. So I am impressed and inspired by your diligence and fortitude to wait on that book, because I don't have that same diligence or fortitude. Speaking
of something I'm looking forward to, the second book after Where'd You Park Your Spaceship? There's the one and only Noonye, or there's only one Noonye. I am looking forward to rereading that. Okay. I'm just ready to I'm going to do that soon, and I think we need to ask Rob Bell if he wants to come back and talk about the book. That'd be kind of fun.
Peanut Gallery.
Deanna said, "I'm excited for a new life coach. My cousin and his wife are expecting twins."
New life coach, life.
I don't know why I said for a new life. I don't know why I said new life coach. Where did I get coach from? My cousin and his wife are expecting twins. My uncle will be a granddad. That's awesome. That's awesome. What are you looking forward to?
Oh, man. I think I'm looking forward to the holidays, too. Yeah. I'm excited about... We're kind of planning a staycation for Christmas time.
Yeah.
I am super excited about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fun. So, your dad said less than 2 weeks until Williamsburg, and then the next will be together in Ocean City with your family.
Yep. That'd be cool.
So, good stuff. So, this week,
we are preaching this week.
It will happen.
It's going to happen. We're doing 2 homilies, and the passage is Mark 12, verses 38 through 44. Mm-hmm. I think, are you preaching first?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. So, this is an interesting passage in the book of Mark. This is after Jesus enters into Jerusalem at the end of his life. Mm-hmm. This is in the middle of this time that's kind of seen as the cleansing of the temple. So, high stress time, questioning authorities, who's in charge here kind of questions. Not that we know anything about that. So it's a really fascinating text where Jesus and his disciples are in the temple, and they're just kind of, I imagine them kind of just watching people, like you do in an airport or something, right? So we find them there, and they're people watching, and they start noticing the scribes, the religious leaders who walk around seeking honor and visibility, and they're just, I kind of imagine them as holding their noses high and their long necks and that sort of thing, right? They're doing it for the purposes of being seen, for the purposes of appearances, and so they have this whole facade going on, And I say that the scribes say go dogs. Of course the scribes say go dogs because they're the ones that Jesus says is wrong. That's just for you, Brian Dill.
And hello, Brian Dill, by
hello,
the way.
Brian. It's good to see you.
Absolutely.
No, but so the scribes and the religious leaders are going about their business in a very, I just see it as like a very pompous way. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really interested in the appearances of it all. Mm-hmm. And the way that things appear. And then this is the text where Jesus says, I
got it right here if you want it.
Sorry, I had it. Yeah, so this is the text where Jesus says that these people pray long prayers for the sake of appearances. I love that saying. They pray for the sake of appearances, say long prayers. And then he says they will receive greater condemnation. And so I've long said that I'd be really interested in reading the Gospels according to and using kind of the lens and the guide of evaluating power dynamics and the ways that Jesus responds to power. And so what I find most interesting here is that there's this assertion of power in the long prayers, in the pompous kind of long neckness of the scribes. There's this assertion of power. And Jesus basically says, like, they're going to receive condemnation in the end because it's all for the sake of appearances. Mm-hmm. And I just, like, it makes me question what even is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose of religion? Because it sure as heck ain't to pray long prayers and to be wordy and to parade ourselves around in our fancy robes. Although I am a sucker for a really cool I will say that.
Yeah, we both wanted to go to Hogwarts.
I'm super excited for us to get our black robes back because they're my favorite. Yep. So I acknowledge these things. But what is the purpose of religion? Because I don't think it's for the sake of appearances. No. Although it can be harnessed in that way. For the sake of, asserting power that is hollow.
Yeah. There was a recent podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about the subtle underbelly of the things that we say. And I think about this, and this is the underbelly of the things that we do, right? Mm-hmm. So when we do this action, what are we trying to push forward with? Yeah.
It's like Dewey's explicit, implicit, and null curriculum.
Null curricula. Yeah.
So it feels like this is the implicit part of it. Mm-hmm. What are we trying to do implicitly, subconsciously, by strutting around in our fancy robes?
And Jesus sitting here looks and, as usual, flips the script and says, look at this widow. She's putting everything she has in the coffers. Basically, she's giving a certain amount that it says is the equivalent of a penny, which is everything she's got. She's giving this to her faith. What she's giving it as an offering, basically. Mm-hmm. And Jesus says she's not being showy about it. She's doing this as a way, as part of her faith. There's not a show to it. Mm-hmm. And he basically says, this is the right path. In fact, the better, he says, truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the treasury. Basically, you're seeing there's actually three characters kind of here. There's the scribes, there's the wealthy, and then there's the widow. Yeah. And then there's Jesus, of course. But for all of them have contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, has put in everything that she has. Which for me, I have some questions with that.
Yeah.
That to me, it sounds a lot like the Giving Tree. And the Giving Tree was one of those books in divinity school that I think a lot of us came in thinking like, oh yeah, it's a really beautiful story. And then we took a class with a womanist professor who basically said, yeah, I bet you think it's a wonderful story. The woman gives everything. Just everything until she has nothing left. Including herself in all of this. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess there is that side to it.
Yeah.
And so there's this kind of balance in thinking about sacrifice and giving.
Yeah.
And then why are we doing that? And is it and what's a healthy sacrifice, I guess. Like what's the way that we don't lose ourself in a sacrifice as well.
You know what this makes me think about?
What's that?
There was a church one time where the ministers of said church had this wild idea. There was some negativity going on in the congregation. Mm-hmm. And the ministers of the church had this wild idea. There were 2 couples on staff. Mm-hmm. And we decided to encourage the church. We are going to, as a church, give up complaining for Lent. Do you remember this?
I do remember this.
And we gave up complaining for Lent. And part of it was, you know, like a daily kind of reflection on places, kind of an examine on places that we may have struggled to live up to that expectation, to give up complaining. And then there was the other part. Do you remember what the other part of it was? The other part was that we invited the congregation to publicly repent of their complaints by bringing $1 for every complaint forward during a certain moment of the worship service every week. And for the it's like 6 weeks in Lent, right? For the 6 weeks of Lent, we had one person come forward. And it was the sweetest soul in that congregation who would have never crossed our mind as the person who needed to be coming up to give those dollars. And it was, to me, it was this like, oh God, she's the widow. You know, she's the widow in the story, like throwing all she has, taking this very seriously. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, I was standing up on the stage with my fancy robe, doing my thing. So I found this story really interesting because it kind of, it's the unexpected, exemplar. It's the widow who's the exemplar, not the religious leaders.
Yeah. Sarah Hollick said, is it possible the widow's poverty is compelling to Jesus because it stripped her of the desire to maintain appearances? Mm-hmm. Not to glorify lack or dismiss the hardship, but she has nothing to hide behind. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She doesn't have a robe to cover up herself. Yeah. Ooh, I like that a lot. I think that needs to be incorporated. I'm not telling you what to do, but...
Yes, you are.
I am. I mean,
it's good.
If Sarah Hollick says it...
Then it's thoughtful.
Yes.
It means a lot.
Yes.
It's true.
So, We've done some talking.
We have.
It's time to do some toasting.
We should.
And friends, we can't thank you enough. You know, I think in times like this, it's healing just to do our normal thing.
Yeah.
And it's calming, maybe not healing, but calming to do our normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And, yeah, As Dave Grohl would say, it's times like these you learn to live again, right? So we keep on living.
We keep on living.
Yeah. All right. We should talk. We should toast. We did some talking. We should toast. Will you start us off?
Yeah. So, friends, go forth from here and remember that life is about managing the gifts and graces we have, and not hoarding them, but giving them up in a way that turns the balances of appearances on its head.
Mm-hmm. And may you find yourself over and over holding religion and all of those things loosely, because whenever we make a show of the religion, it's Jesus is usually on the other side of all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. Well,
Cheers,
friends,
y'all.
Good stuff. Thank you so much. Hey, Laura Long, good to see you. Rick Jensen, Deanna Choplin.
Go and seek some community.
Thomas.
Wherever you are.
Mm-hmm. And we hope to see you real soon. Yep.
Sophie said, Rick Jensen, clap, 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 fix your hair.
That's their secret handshake. It's good stuff.
Love you, Joanne. Y'all take care.
Good night, everybody.